Yay, just us recording for now. Monday, April 16th, advanced class. We're going to talk about the gospel a little bit, and then we're going to get into the quiz. I'm not recording the quiz for those of you who are at home, like, I'm going to get free answers. I mean, technically you are going to get free answers as we're talking about what happened in the book. You just don't know which things I say are the answers. Let's see, the 75 item list is not due till Wednesday, and then we are going to be talking about it in class. The myth test corrections, if you are gone today, you can turn them in tomorrow. I-step testing begins officially next week. Practice test on Friday. Your next checkpoint for gospel is page 178. And as someone did their expert mathing a moment ago, it was 70 pages. Gives you 1 week. That's like 10 pages a day. And of course, in your book, there's pictures and blank pages and really big type. So really, it translates like 12 pages. And if that 12 pages of reading is too much for you, I understand also. Then you might want to re-examine advanced English for next year. But that's just harassing in general. By the way, if you think that's a lot, wait till you get to the next book we're going to do, the Princess Bride, which is like that thick, and you're going to have to read the whole thing in like 3 weeks.
Why?
Because
That is so cool. Why is there so much hatred?
Be getting you ready once again for advanced
We get to watch the movie, don't we?
English for next year. Miss a couple days. Anyway, so once again, back to me getting to torture kids, teach kids. I've missed it so much. Let's see, so it's there, it's covered that. With the gospel according to, last week, Thursday, Friday. Apologize for being gone. I had to go run camp. I did the best I could, at least recording me doing part of class with you, so I figured it was not the biggest withdrawal. But it did put a lot of the reading on you and the whole responsibility thing. I understand kids' responsibility. Not your favorite thing out there, but it's the best I can hopefully try and do. But now I'm back, and by the way, you only have 29 more mornings with me. And so your time is running out of having to have me torture you on a daily basis. Then you get to go on to, for some of you, advanced 8th grade English, and then you get to like reading non-stop, because if you thought this was a lot of reading, that's all you do in 8th grade is like big book after big book after big book. And that's where, for some of you, you might want to re-examine advanced English. Alright, the gospel homework. First off, questions as far as the 75 item list goes. Because now we find out that Josh limits himself, hence the pictures he puts into it. So I figured let's have you at least put some thinking into it, and then explaining to them why you put it onto there with your 75 items. Twitch?
So I know we're supposed to tape it into our book, but I printed mine too big, and I can't print it anymore because, like, I just can't because I moved, so that didn't work. But anyways, so can I staple it in? That way you can see the back. Can I staple it in even though you're supposed to tape it in? Because the font was too big.
So did you print it two-sided?
Yeah. Well, I didn't do it on purpose, but yeah.
Bring it to me, and what I will do is go make a copy of the back side for you.
Okay.
And then you can just tape it onto 2 pages.
Okay.
Okay, and then we can do that. Brush?
Okay.
Do we use like school supplies, like pencils, backpacks?
Not really. For the most part, I don't think you should have to. I'm going more for the things that you guys actually own. Just like we don't have to include toiletries and stuff like that. But I figured the backpack, so I was trying to think of the stuff that he includes in there, and I don't think he would include, he definitely would not include pencils. Backpack he would.
Yeah.
But like pencils he doesn't, and stuff like that. So I was trying to think of it's like, given, it's all a hypothetical thing. I'm not actually making you limit yourself. It's just the idea of, I thought Josh would do it or not.
What?
Tailby?
Can I put something that, say like me and my brother share something
Sure.
as mine?
If you want to just go ahead and put a flag on it and claim it as your own.
Okay.
I understand completely. You can kick him to the side. It happens. So no other questions as far as that goes, and we'll have some of you guys read those out loud, and we'll share some of the fun stuff like that. Yay, learning. Then, with the actual gospel according to Larry stuff. Quick question. Have any of you guys finished the book? Yay. Just wanted, because the problem is if you finish it, then you're going to be aware of things. How many of you guys are already past page 108? Yeah, again. Then that, if you are, once again, it's fine. It's just you're going to, because much like with Outsiders, big things happen in the book. And so I'm just trying to make sure that you're not too far into it as far as asking my questions. I want you guys revealing things and giving stuff away and things like that. So then this should work pretty well. Here's my first question. Your opinion of Josh. Do you think he's a good person, bad person, or even just do you like him or not like him as a person? That's where I figured I want to start off with. Sri Lanka?
he knows what to do. He's not a person who's still like exploring his limits. He knows what to do. He knows what he's gonna do in life, but he's still exploring his limits, but he knows them. So
He has a goal.
yeah.
So yeah, I would definitely say he's not necessarily sure how to achieve the goal, but he has a goal. So does that mean, going back to your opinion, do you like him? Do you think he's a good person?
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, making a goal, like my goal is like, I'm gonna stomp on kittens. I don't know how I'm gonna get all those kittens. I mean, and so you can have a goal and not be a good person. Jack?
I think he's a good person because pretty much all I've heard so far is him trying to make a change with his website and everything he's done.
So he has the goal of being a good person. All right. Elizabeth?
I think he's a good person, yeah. Sorry.
Good person.
Yeah, I think he's a good person because he's actually trying to make a change in the world by posting his opinions. And he's like very outgoing on that, and he's not afraid to share how he feels.
Which is weird, I agree. He's not afraid to share how he feels, but at the same time, he hides who he is. Which becomes, does that make him afraid of sharing it? But, I don't know. Dub.
I feel like he's a good person with good intentions, but he's going down the wrong road.
Okay.
Like, it's gonna end in disaster. It started cool, and I feel like it's just gonna end in a big blur of not his words, but who he is.
Interesting. Just because nothing good ever ends good?
Well, because it's the whole online thing, and since it already started with chaos of people, like,
Because it's
with
your
the
class, we know it's gonna end bad.
yeah. Well, but they have like a game
Oh, hang on.
of finding
Time out
out
real
who
quick.
he is.
Even though don't talk to other people, that's a bad kid. But the same idea, that's exactly why Josh posts anonymously. Because the idea that you're filtering everything you read in my class through the idea that it's my class. And so that's when he talks about filters, the idea that as soon as you find out that he's a teenage boy, that becomes a filter in how you think about stuff. The fact that I'm making you read this book, you filter it through, they're all gonna die, it's gonna happen, he's gonna turn out to be a shooter, or something like that, and you're like, why? I have no idea, but you're making me read. So that becomes that filter. Alright, so now back to you.
But yeah, that's basically
So you're-
it.
That filter
they play
of,
a game of figuring out who it is, and I feel like it's going to become more about who he is rather than what he does.
alright, Twitch?
Well, I feel like I remember this from the beginning of the book, but when we read the author's note, it was something about him, like, they thought he was dead, but he really wasn't dead. So I think when he's in the woods, he's gonna, like, get lost and they're gonna think he's dead. But then he's just gonna, like, run away and hide because people are being mean. Because that's what I would do, just run away and hide, and it would be great.
Because of all those meanies?
Well, I don't know what that one guy was being real scary. He got all angry at him.
Beth?
No.
Beth
Beth.
Gold.
Yeah.
Beth
The one
Gold.
who was screaming.
Beth
Yeah.
Gold.
That's
Beta
what
Gold.
he knows what he
Yeah,
said.
it's like
Yeah,
the internet, yeah.
Beta Gold.
that guy. He got all angry.
Yeah, he was. He was kind of creepy.
Oh, I thought you were trying to say Beth, but you kept saying
I have
Beta
Beta Gold up there.
Yeah, him.
Whatever, we'll come to that.
Beta Gold is cat.
Yes.
It's
I
pronounced
think
Beta Gold.
that he's
That's
a
right.
good person, but he's like changing people, but it's not really gonna make a difference. Like they're gonna go back to how they were before. It's just like everyone's like watching him, so it's like, well, if everyone else is doing it, then I should do it too. And it's not really gonna make a difference.
I'm trying to decipher his name. I'm sorry.
The name Beta Gold?
Yeah.
It's just the name Beta Gold.
No, but like I feel like it has a meaning.
us.
And I'm trying
Catherine.
Okay,
Yeah,
it's
I
a
think
mixture
it's
of
Catherine.
beta fish and like
Golden.
You didn't say in the book that she was like
Goldfish.
trying to
to.
get
Aquarium.
Beta Gold, we'll find out more as the book goes along. We find out more about the Beta Gold person.
Or it could be Beth Gold.
I think it's Catherine's.
Beth is Beta Gold?
Yeah.
My name's Catherine.
I think Catherine's
I
made a
know.
goal because she was like,
Yeah,
because
Beth is like
Peter
a
was like,
fangirl
Catherine
of,
has
like,
been doing
of
some
Larry.
research.
Yeah, that's what I think. But I
Yeah,
feel like
Beth
that's too
has weird
obvious.
morals.
Yeah.
Hang
Beth
on.
goes from
Like,
goth
Beth
to
needs
like.
to like realize
That's like
she's
me.
more
Hashtag
self-aware.
puberty.
Why do you say Beth has weird morals?
Okay, well, she doesn't know what she's doing. She goes and hangs out with
Todd Terrific.
Todd
Yeah,
Terrific.
Todd Terrific, and then she goes back.
Todd.
She doesn't know what she's doing, and she's in high school. She needs to get her life together.
Todd Terrific.
She has a lot of shit.
Are you saying she's not goal oriented like Josh?
Yeah, which means I think that's like the one thing he's doing wrong. Like, I don't think
She's the right person?
No, I think Beth is just like bad. Like, he keeps giving and then she doesn't give back.
Yes.
So, do you like Beth?
No.
Not really.
I'm sorry.
Oh, hang on, let's do
You're
this real quick.
self-aware.
With Beth, by a show of hands, how many of you say, I like Beth? I think as a person, she's okay.
So many
Alright.
mood swings.
How many of you guys say, nope, don't like her, something wrong with that girl?
Therapy.
I'm curious on that one.
I'm in the middle. I
Alright.
think she's a bad person, but I don't think that
Brody?
she's a good person.
Brody. I don't like her because she's not smart.
What?
Wow. What happened was
Wait, like school smart or like social?
Hey, how about you just stop talking to me?
Well, I need some clarification.
So,
I'm just talking.
what he knows about
Let Birdie
Yeah.
talk.
So she didn't notice. He was right there. The whole time, the person that she was trying to find was right in front of her. Yeah, and she didn't notice. That's why I don't like her.
Gotcha.
like a
So she
sad
doesn't
love
pick up
song.
on the clues that are there.
Yeah.
Strong?
I don't like her. I don't think she's a bad person because she doesn't do anything that's like killing people. But I don't think she's a good person because she's not like rays of sunshine and amazing. But like I feel like she needs to be more self-aware because like she's not understanding anything that's going on around her. She's like, who's Larry?
That describes so many teenagers.
That's the
Josh
problem.
Josh is sort of your unusual teenager.
Yeah.
Beth is more your all y'all kind of teenager.
That's what we
So
think.
it's interesting that you're attacking her when I think she's like a big mirror being held up in front of you. Jessup?
Okay, but you guys are going in the right direction. She also just, it's like she uses Josh sometimes because she just like hangs out with him so that way she has friends. And then when like Todd or someone else comes along, she's like, okay, bye, you're
Exactly.
like,
Joking, that's not
like who does that? So like, that's not
Stole my
okay.
She does have issues in that area. I mean, yeah. Once again, giant mirror. Hollyhock.
So she reads all this, like all the sermon stuff that Larry posts. She's talking about it, and then she like does the opposite of what everything says. So she's not actually a true fan, and then she's a bad person because she just when she's hanging out with Josh, like she just doesn't realize that like. It's so sad because it's like a Hallmark movie, and then like
So with your if she were to find out that Josh was Larry, would that be good or bad?
I believe that she would definitely like
everyone.
Yeah, I believe that she would be more like
She's
loving
stupid,
everyone.
and she'd be like, "Oh, you didn't tell me because you don't like me," and then leave.
No,
me.
'cause you're
Can we ask questions yet, or
Sure.
is that later?
No, go for it.
Okay, so when that one like online guy was like cutting out the symbols on his like sign, and then he was like putting it up to the sermons,
Gotcha.
I didn't understand what was happening.
That was when they're basically because no one knows who he is, and people are trying to find out like the secrets behind it, and so they're basically going like crazy conspiracy level stuff, where they're trying to like find hidden meanings and stuff. When Josh is like, I'm just writing, there's no hidden meaning. They're like, you don't know what you're talking about. There's hidden meaning. He's like, no, I wrote it. There's no. But people are like trying to find deeper meaning into it. It's just people being crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's much like kids are dumb, people are crazy.
Oh, and then can I like add on to the
Sure.
Okay, so then she, like what Holly was saying, like she's like so dedicated to it. Like she even got like a tattoo on her ankle, and I was like.
Yeah.
And then
When her
then she,
tattoo is
like,
the money sign.
The money sign with the one.
Yeah,
It's a good connection. Yeah.
But then she like doesn't do anything that he says. Like he doesn't, like with like the 75 items and like not.
Gotcha. She doesn't actually live by what the sermon says.
Yeah, she's just like, oh my gosh, they're so true, and then she's like, oh no.
And then does her own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like every person.
Big mirror. RJ.
I was gonna talk about beta gold, but okay, so like some people were saying earlier, the beta gold's like Catherine, because I think Peter he said he was having trouble with like the ads and stuff, and Larry was like gonna get him fired.
Yeah.
And so Catherine's like trying to help Peters to find Larry and kill him. I mean, not kill him. Yes.
Which is like killing, but with less death. That took a turn. My hiring?
So, I'm going back to Beth.
Uh-huh.
So, like, I say she's good. Like, she can go either way because, like, she is good because she was there with Josh, like, through bad times, like, when his mom died. That was, like, her favorite friend, son's friend.
Yes.
So, and she writes letters to him and thinks of the mom. But at the same time, like, talking about the other points that when, like, Todd Terrific comes or someone else comes, that she just goes with them and leaves, Josh behind. And wait.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But wait,
Oh, yeah,
there's
and-
more.
Yes, there is more. But also going on that she just leaves him behind.
You mean when she died?
wants to- No. She just wants to go into. I feel like she just wants to go into a higher groove. Like,
Oh, you're
Doesn't
talking
care
about
about
his
Josh
mom.
as
I
much.
meant Beth.
yeah.
Left him.
Yeah, I thought you were like his mom. I'm like, she died.
No, and then I was going down to Beta
To Beth,
Gold.
okay. that makes
Beta
sense.
Gold, whatever.
Gotcha.
Beta Gold.
There's
I-
Beth and Beta Gold.
I'm talking about
People.
the difference. Like now I've moved on to Beta Gold.
Okay.
I think it's Catherine because of what Peter said. Like she's been researching and working, like looking after. I feel like that's too obvious. Like
Alright.
one clue's not gonna give it away. That's just looking.
Real quick,
I don't.
does anyone have
Terrific.
questions that have confused you in the book so far that I can cover to try and help out?
What is confusing about this book?
Sri Lanka?
So I don't get how Peter. His job.
Uh-huh.
It's
In
to.
advertising.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So did he make the advertisements and just not just stupid enough to not realize that the parodies were his advertisements, or were they advertisements that were like well known?
They're advertisements that he created and then went out like on magazines and stuff like that.
Oh, so they've already been.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so they were already out there and stuff like that, and then the parodies then popped up and
that
things
makes
like that, which is weird. I mean, he does get so upset, and like nowadays, that would be a viral thing that would actually bring business in.
Yeah,
But
like
back then, this was before the viral things really took off, and so then it was much more of a, you're stealing our stuff. Nowadays, marketers be like, steal our stuff, because then people are going to see it, and it's going to be great. But back then, that wasn't the thinking at the time. They got more upset about it. Rush?
So, what did Josh have with him that made Patrick
Peter?
Yeah, so upset?
Gavin?
Isn't it whenever he walked into the? No, I'm answering your question.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Whenever Josh walked into the kitchen and he had all the posters about Larry that he was gonna take around, he threw them in the trash and he was so mad about it.
That's what I think too. I think what part you're talking about when you saw all the advertising stuff that was sitting there.
Yeah, but what were the advertisements?
Can we just
about?
start
Was
the
it Larry's sermons or advertisements?
The advertisements,
They were
things
like
that popped up
parodies
on the
of
website that people are posting.
Advertisements.
And Elizabeth?
Well, the sermons,
Mm-hmm.
I think there's something like I would read because they really